Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I finished my day job, and I'm out in my backyard trying to get some grass to grow. I'm pulling the weeds out here and trying to clean up and things, trying to get this to look decent, and it's always a lot of work, but it's getting there. This is one of the spots I just never have enough time to just come out here and sit down, relax. And I got to get some fish for the fish pond again. But my mind is always going. Even when I wake up in the middle of the night, it's still going. And I just got ideas that are popping my head and stuff. But I've said this a couple of times. And I know I am just Joe the fan. I don't have any credentials. I don't work for ESPN and things like that, or NFL Network and stuff. I'm just Joe the fan. So I'm just talking and saying what I believe. We've had the discussion about Dak Prescott getting paid, and of course Colin Cowherd thinks that he could single-handedly reset the quarterback market, that no quarterback should be paid more than $28 million. And I'm sure Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Matty Ice, and Aaron Rodgers be happy to go ahead and drop, $5-6 million a year less than what they're already taking, as well as everybody else. But that's not the reality of the situation. The reality is from the time the salary cap happened and Troy Aikman signed his $10 million contract, it's been going up. And so is the salary cap. When Troy Aikman signed his, the salary cap was about $25 million. Well, it's almost 10 times that now. It's closing in on $200 million. It will be at least next year. And the reality is you want to spend about 15% of your cap is what should go to the quarterback. It's about the right number. Some teams are spending more, some teams are spending a little less, but it all averages out to about 15% of it. Now, everybody keeps talking about, well, if you pay Dak $30 million, that's too much. But here's the reality, and I've said this: get this thing done. I said get this thing done before Russell Wilson got his, and he went from, Aaron Rodgers was $33 million, boom, 35. Big Ben got his done, boom, $4 million. So now we're hearing that this summer, Carson Wentz is going to get his deal. And do you think Carson Wentz is going to settle for 25 or 30 million? No. Carson Wentz is going to be going up in that $30 million range. So understand that the more people that are in the 30s, the bottom is raising up for everybody else. It's like when you have Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is out there, or at least when he really came good, he all of a sudden raised the purse for the winner, which means all the guys up underneath are there for second, third, fourth, fifth were making more too. So you need to get this thing done for Dak Prescott. And I know you're thinking $30 million, Well, here's the reality. It's $30 million today. But if you wait and say, Dak, why don't you play this year on that $2 million rookie deal that you have? Well, by the time Carson Wentz gets his extension, the Rams will be looking at saying, damn, we need to hurry up and go ahead and get Jared Goff done too, because the price is going up. He's going to get his deal done. You got Phillip Rivers, who's on the last year of his deal. He needs to get his done, as well as some other people out there. So, get it done. Now, I'm curious, because here's what we've been hearing about Dak Prescott. That A, he needs to take a home team discount. B, he's not an elite quarterback. C, the Cowboys won't be able to win if they pay Dak. Well, hold it right there. Numbers-wise, Dak, Goff, Wentz. Dak actually has more yardage than any of them. With the rushing touchdowns, he's got the most touchdowns. QBR, I think he's leading the three of them. But Won't it be the same situation for each of those teams? Am I wrong that if the Cowboys pay Dak and the other guys pay their quarterback, they won't have the same situation that we have? And if everybody's paying high prices for quarterbacks, aren't we all in the same boat? And another thing with the Dallas Cowboys, understand there's a difference between the Cowboys versus the Eagles. The Eagles, I believe, are the 7th oldest team in the NFL, which means they've got a bunch of expiring contracts and older guys and things like that, and people that are going to need to get their contracts. Right now, we'll have the money to pay Zeke, Dak. We'll get Byron done. You still have time for Van Der Esch and, Jalen Smith. And you're going to have some older people contracts that are kind of high that you probably won't have after this year. I'm talking Lyle Collins, which is $10 million. I'm talking about Tyrone Crawford, which is $10 million. So you're having some guys that are going to be aging. And worst comes to worst, DeMarcus Lawrence, really, you can let him go in 3 years. So financially, the Cowboys are actually better suited than the Eagles, because the Eagles, you look at older guys like Deshaun Jackson and Jason Peters and guys like that they have to replace. And you look at some of the other guys that are getting closer to getting contract extensions, and you look at all the money that they have kicked down the road. We've got $90 million in cap space next year. I think at the moment they only have about 15. So that whole situation is not apples to oranges. Let's think about Dak Prescott, who has never missed a single game. He got hurt his hand, missed a couple of plays, but ended up finishing the game. Durability-wise, he's built like a linebacker. You take a hit and pop up. Lord knows we found that out when we were playing the Atlanta Falcons. With 9 sacks, he could still get up. And you haven't hit the ceiling yet with Dak Prescott. He's been playing in a garbage-ass offense. Now you've got some talent around him. You've got a change in coaching philosophy. You're going to see more out of Dak Prescott. And again, thinking that you'll save money by waiting another year and then franchise tagging him, you're not really going to save, because you do that 2 more years from now, it's going to be $40 million a year for a quarterback and more. Pat Mahomes, he's coming up too. So understand, right now, today, if you get your deal done before Carson Wentz is, you're going to get a better deal than you are at the end of next year. So that's all I got to say about that. But I'm curious, because they're working on the deal for Carson Wentz, who hurt his back November 11th. Well, last game he played was November 11th. 6 months ago. Still healing. Not sure he's going to be ready for next week's OTAs. I'm sure he'll be fine to play for the season, but you still missed 6 months with a broken back. You've had a complete knee redone. You've had rib problems. You were hurt in college. As we talk about the risk of Dak Prescott's extension, which one is really more riskier? A guy who's never gotten hurt, or a guy who's been hurt 4 times in the last 4 years? Understand that every contract that you do in the NFL is a risk. Every player is one play away from being retired. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not mad about any player getting paid. Because you have to understand, I'm at a crossroads right myself. Never played professional football. High school, college, and I've got a knee that's jacked up. It's worn out. It's bone on bone. I'm 53 years old, and I may have to get a knee joint replacement, in which case it may be months for me recovering. And the worry, of course, is that they don't last that long, and you need to be restricted on some of the things that you do to try and make it last longer. So they say you need to wait till you're 60. Every time I ride in my truck and get out, or every time I get up out of the bed, my knee is literally moving around like this. Sometimes it'll pop out of socket and I'll get sharp pains. I take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. I'm only supposed to take one at a time, but sometimes when it's bad, I'll take two, double it up. 1,600 milligrams for the pain. Most of the time I try and ignore it. I'm only 53. When you hear about somebody like Brad Johnson, who's younger than I am, who for about the last 6 years has had a hard time just getting out of the bed and getting downstairs. They are doing this for our entertainment. They are taking the quality of life away. In some cases, they're shortening their life for our entertainment. They are putting it on the line every single day, and it is around the clock, 365-day-a-year job. If you're not playing football, you're training for football. If you're not training for football, you're getting surgeries, operations, rehabbing, rebuilding, taking cadavers, tendons to make ACL joints and things. So don't be mad about what these guys are doing, because I dare say very few of you could take a couple of the hits that these guys take on a daily basis. So that's all I got to say about that. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to go get me some dinner. But as always, friends, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe B. Sports Report. I need to come out here and sit more often. It's a great spot to think. Take a look at the waterfall right there. I'll see you guys soon.